hit like, and subscribe. You're watching the Marc Lamont Hill official YouTube channel.
Peace, family. It's your brother, Marc Lamont Hill. Welcome to Night School. Every night here on the Marc Lamont Hill official YouTube channel, we hold Night School, where I break down the most controversial subjects, the most contested debates, the most interesting subjects going on in the world today. And tonight is no different. We got a bunch of stuff to cover. I apologize for the little delay there. I decided to work from a different space, partly because it's just Friday, and also it's cold as hell in the studio. So I came out here, but I was having a lighting issue. There's certain ways that I was sitting, there's certain ways I was walking around where all you saw was like beams of light coming down. You could still see them, but they're not so bad right now. If I had to like sit at like the perfect angle, and this hoodie wasn't helping because it was anyway. The long and the short of it is, we got a lot to cover. This is a crazy week, and because it's a Friday and we're doing night school, I didn't want to get into. I did make fun of Bullet for it, like because it's a Friday. I didn't want to get into too many heavy stories. I'm not going to do like too many like deep dives on policy. I'm not going to get too heavy into foreign affairs. We're going to cover some domestic stories that have been trending and some things that I think are interesting, and we're going to talk about the why of it as much as we can. I'm going to start with, well, first of all, just shout everybody out, man. Thank you for watching on a Friday night. I appreciate everybody here. We got hundreds of people coming into the room at a time. Thousands of people will be watching the stream live. Sorry if I sound a little stuffy. I got this cold. It just won't go away. Thank you, daycare. Anyway, I'm just excited. I don't even know what this means. I'm going to take the super thanks. Supporting a black business, you smart slut. I don't even know what that means, but you know, for $2, I'll take it. Shout out to Bring It to Greenia. Always good to see you back in the building. Let's talk about these titles, though, man. I know y'all came here to hear me talk about some things. So let's get to it. I'm going to start with DJ Unk. For those that don't know, Unk, or others know him as DJ Unk, passed away today at the age of 42. He would have turned 43 in March. And it's a tragedy. It's a tragedy when anybody dies. It's a tragedy when we lose anybody in our community, especially this hip hop community. But it is, for me, especially sad when someone so young passes away. His wife, Shakita Long Platt, posted on social media, on Facebook, that he had passed away. And that's how we found out. And, you know, she said, "Please respect me and my family. I just lost my husband and my kids just lost their father. Our life will never be the same. I love you, Anthony, forever." Anthony, of course, is Unk's government name. This is, and forgive me, my initial info said that his birthday was in March. His birthday is in November, which means he's really 42. He's an ATLian for sure. Georgia, Atlanta, born and bred. And if you know DJ Unk, if you grew up in that era, you came up in that era, or if you're from Atlanta or you was in the snap music, whatever, you know who he is. If not, you just know the song Walk It Out. Everybody know Walk It Out. If you don't know Walk It Out, you know the Walk It Out remix, which was my shit. You know what I mean? Walk Out like a Usher. But the song went all the way up to number 10 on the Billboard overall 100, number 2 on the hot R&B hip hop list. There was dance battles. If you remember Stomp the Yard from 2007, that song was fire. It was just a big hit. And then of course Two Step was the follow-up to that. That got pretty high on the list as well. T-Pain remixed it, etc. So, you know, the big story to me isn't that a hitmaker died. The big story is that a father died, a partner died, a loved one died. He meant a lot to a whole lot of people in the Atlanta community. And I'm honestly tired of stories of rappers dying at 42. I'm tired of hearing people die dead at 42, dead at 43, dead at 50. We're losing too many. We're losing too many young. I don't know the circumstances around his death. I don't know anything about his death. And because his wife has asked us not to speculate on it, I'm not going to speculate on it. I'm not going to ask her. I'm not going to reach out. I'm not going to do anything but mind my business and send a condolences, a deep, deep condolences to his family, his friends, his fans. I'm just so tired of hearing this news. It never stops being sad, yo. I wanted to get that out of the way. Sometimes these deaths make it at the end of the show and they become a footnote, and I don't want it to be a footnote. I don't want to make the whole show heavy, but I also don't want it to get passed over or looked over because it's very important to know and to talk about it. Let's talk about something else. Joseph Robinette Biden is a Freemason. Now, this story, when I first saw this trending, I said, come on, y'all. We already doing the conspiracy theories. If we doing conspiracy theories, why are we doing them about Joe Biden, for God's sake? I mean, he's not even president. That's so last week. You know what I'm saying? Like, homeboy ain't even president. Why are we tripping about his affiliations and making them up? Because I was like, this seems like a dumb story. Turns out, Joe Biden actually is a Freemason. He joined a lodge, or he was admitted into a lodge. He was inducted into a lodge. All of those things are true. He joined a lodge. He was inducted into a lodge. He was made a Mason this week. And I was thinking, why? I needed more information. So, being a journalist, I had to do some fact finding. I had to do some digging. And the first thing I found, and it wasn't that hard to find, y'all can find it too, was that Joe Biden was made a member of this particular lodge. They sent out, and notice the lodge posted it on their Facebook, but I was able to find the pictures. You see Joe Biden there. Oh, sorry. With who appears to be the worshipful master of the lodge. That's definitely a worshipful master. That's definitely some Masonic stuff right there. I wish Joe Biden wore better shoes, but that hug is, oh wait, no, he's not giving him a hug. They doing some other stuff. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Ain't my, I'm gonna mind my business. But I will say this. Joe Biden here is a member. Here's the resolution. It was with great pleasure that I, Victor C. Major 27th, the most worshipful Grand Master, welcome our newest member to the Prince Hall family. Keep Prince Hall in your mind, y'all. Keep Prince Hall there. Prince Hall is important here. I'll explain to you why Prince Hall is important. Don't think Prince Hall is a small thing here. He said on Sunday, January 19th, at a private event, Master Mason membership with full honors were conferred upon President Joseph R. Biden Jr. in recognition of his outstanding service to the United States of America. So he was made a Mason while president. Remember, the inauguration wasn't for the next day. I guess he definitely wasn't going to nothing. Biden wasn't doing nothing but doing this. So this was the resolution of his membership. There's more that I could show you, but I think y'all get the point. Y'all want to see a little bit more? Okay, I'll show you a little bit more. Just so y'all don't think I'm making this stuff up. The resolution of his membership. The resolution of his membership is right here. To be a Freemason is to be part of a brotherhood dedicated to personal growth, service to others, and the pursuit of knowledge, blah, blah, blah. Whereas Joe Biden has demonstrated exceptional dedication. Whereas his service reflects the core values of the most worshipful Prince Hall Grand Lodge. Whereas his contributions, therefore be resolved to hereby confer membership upon him. Be it further resolved that this resolution of membership be recorded in the archives of the most worshipful Prince Hall Grand Lodge of Free and Accepted Masons of the state of South Carolina. This is fascinating. It's fascinating for a few reasons. First of all, why is Joe Biden becoming a Freemason? That's the first thing, right? That's just strange. Why is he becoming a Prince Hall Freemason? That is even stranger, although I understand why a Black Lodge might do that. So let me give you a little backdrop. For those that don't know, a lot of you know about Freemasonry and all the talk about secret societies and all the narratives about all the presidents are members of these secret societies like Skull and Bones, and they're all secret Masons, and that Masons run the world, and that you hear all of this stuff all the time. But the idea is that it's secretive. The idea is that you don't know that this stuff happens. But they made it clear that Joe Biden is a member. And Joe Biden made it clear that Joe Biden is a member. This is not secretive stuff. Also, they didn't just make him an honorary, to be clear. This isn't an honorary promotion. This isn't an honorary appointment. Joe Biden was made a Master Mason. He was made a Master Mason. Now, there are people who have tried to pretend this isn't true. There are people who are promoting it as a lie. But these photos are showing something different. Now, I'm not trying to be a conspiracy theorist. I'm not on that type of time. I never have been, never will be. So if you all can show me that these things are photoshopped, look, I'm on board. I am happy to rescind this. It seems like a strange story to me. But the photos show that he is. The resolution shows that he is. The letter, the resolution, all of it show that he is. So it would be very strange for this to turn out to not be true. I think that the Biden people, or whoever is trying to cover for the Biden people, are trying to make this not true. But I'm going directly to the Conference of Grand Masters, PHA. PHA is Prince Hall affiliated. They're showing themselves here. And on this same page, they are showing Joe Biden being made a Freemason. Remember, it said on Sunday, January 19th, at a private event, Master Mason membership. So Joe Biden wasn't just given an honorary title. He was made a Master Mason. There's only one way to be made a Master Mason. There's only one way to be made a Master Mason. There is only one way to be made a Master Mason. Now, let me say another piece of this, and we're going to get to the Catholic part of this. This is a Prince Hall Lodge. You may say, well, why are all these Negroes there? Why are black people part of this ceremony? Surely, if this is an organization that runs the world, ain't a bunch of Negroes running it. I'd say that's a solid argument. But he didn't just join a Masonic lodge. He didn't just become a Master Mason. He became part of a Prince Hall lodge. Now, if you don't know Prince Hall, Freemasonry goes back a long time. Some would say since time immemorial. Some would say that. There are hundreds of thousands of Masons, millions of Masons probably around the world. But here in the United States, black people were not allowed in the lodge. Black people were not allowed to become members of the Masonic lodges. And so they started their own. A man named Prince Hall. If you don't know who Prince Hall is, y'all should look him up. He's an extraordinary figure. He was an abolitionist. He was part of the free black community in Boston. And later on, they don't want you to know this part, he was also part of the Back to Africa movement, among other things. Anyway, Prince Hall started a lodge. And so if you are a Freemason and you are black in the United States, you are probably part of a Prince Hall Lodge. You are PHA. You are Prince Hall affiliated, right? So you can either be part of a Prince Hall Lodge, you can be part of a Prince Hall affiliated lodge. You could be, and then there are some who are non-Prince Hall, or they're non-whatever. Some people call them irregular lodges. Some call them clandestine or clandestine lodges. Some people say that they're fake. Other people say, who are you to say that we can't make our lodges? Saying, well, y'all made lodges, we can make lodges. I don't care about all of that right now. The idea, though, is at the core, this is night school, so I got to break down just a little bit of this. Prince Hall tried to get into a white lodge. It wasn't just him. It was 15 of them. They tried to get into a white lodge, and they wouldn't let them in. Why? Because they were black. Anyway, they started their own lodge with their own rituals, etc. And this is how they got to be who they are. So it's interesting that a black lodge would be trying so hard to admit Joseph Robinette Biden. I mean, I'm not telling them guys what to do, but I do think it's interesting. I do think it's interesting that you have the opportunity to admit someone into the lodge, and you decided to admit a white man. Given the history of Prince Hall Masonry, it just seems a little strange to me that y'all would use your energy and time to admit this white man. I get it. He's the president. I get you get attention. I get all of that. But at the end of the day, it seems like a strange choice, again, to admit Joe Biden into a Prince Hall Lodge. It's just like the black fraternities, Divine Nine fraternities or sororities. Like, oh, we got, oh, let's admit this white man. Oh, let's admit this white woman. Like, why? I'm not saying white people shouldn't be members of these organizations. I'm just saying, if you're going to bestow the honor, why give it to Bill Clinton? You know what I'm saying? Like, why not give it to a black person? If somebody wants to join and do what they got to do to get in, that's different. But like these honorary degrees and such, I don't understand it. I just don't understand it. But that's neither here nor there. They admitted Joe Biden. He is a member of the Freemasons. Now, the next thing that I think we have to think about is the Catholic piece of it. The Catholic Church is upset. The Catholic Church forbids members they forbid members of the Catholic Church to be what? Masons. You cannot be a member of Freemasonry and be a Catholic, according to the Pope. Somebody just posted, "Stop, Rory is your damn frat. Stop it." Again, Jared, maybe you didn't hear what I said. I don't have a problem if you join the organization and do what you have to do to get in. Rory is not just a Kappa. Rory is a noob. Rory did what he needed to do to get into the organization the same way I did. Rory is not honorary. And again, Kappa doesn't do honorary. Rory did the rough, rugged road that I did, and vice versa. Nothing but respect for Rory. What I said is, if you are giving an honorary membership to somebody, if you're going to give somebody the honor who didn't go through the road, who didn't pledge, who didn't do admission, depending on what year, because pledging used to be legal, whatever. Like, if you didn't do that stuff, why are we giving away our membership to people who aren't black? That's what I'm saying. If you're a black organization and you're giving away free memberships, why give it to Bill Clinton? That's what I said. There are plenty of white people in my frat who I love and respect, some of whom made me, a lot of whom I made, and it's all love, it's all good. It ain't got nothing to do with that. So please don't mix those two things or try to make an issue where there isn't one. But with Joe Biden, he is a Catholic, and the church, the Pope has been very clear. The popes have been clear for hundreds of years that you can't do this. But as recently as like a few years ago, the Pope stood up and said, no, still can't be a Catholic and a Freemason. There are different theories about why. The most popular theory and the most popular argument is they say that there's somehow a competing loyalty if you are a Catholic, um, and you're a member of this organization because of what happens inside of these organizations. That is a theory. Others say that it has much more to do with going back to Italy, and the role that Freemasons played both with the Jesuits and also the role that they played in kind of competing nationalism, and that this is political, not spiritual. I can tell you that there are many Freemasons. I know black and white Freemasons. There are plenty of Freemasons who um, who don't see it as a conflict with their faith. There are many pastors and preachers and bishops and deacons who are members of um, these churches, and members of Freemasonry. And there's no competing agenda. The idea that people are inside of these lodges, drinking goat's blood, is, you know, powerful. It's a strong narrative, but it seems to be at odds with how most people experience Freemasonry. Um, but Joe Biden did it. And so people are saying, well, then you can't be a Catholic. Now, other people are saying, well, shit, Joe Biden ain't been a real Catholic in a long time. If we're talking about faith traditions, what does it mean to be the leader of an empire? What does it mean to proceed over a genocide? What does it mean to be pro? If the Pope says abortion is a sin, and you're Joe Biden, being pro-choice, are you already outside the boundaries of the faith? I'm not saying he is. I'm saying that that's the debate that many Catholics are having. So on right-wing Twitter, and certainly on Catholic Twitter, I'm seeing so many people saying Joe Biden is not this, Joe Biden is not that. But for me, there's a more interesting question, which is, if Joe Biden is just now becoming a Freemason, does that fly in the face of the argument that all the presidents are part of a secret society? That all the presidents are Freemasons? That to be president, you already have to be a Freemason. Now, you could say he just joined the Black Freemasons. He's part of the real. He been part of the real one. He already did all the satanic rituals, and he already did all the secret stuff before. Now, all he's doing is doing a nice little public relations stunt for the Black folk. But I'm like, why? On your last day in office, this is what you want to do? And who's it for? And also, does he remember it? Like, is Joe Biden part of is he mentally sound enough to make a decision to join any organization? I don't care, what I'm saying, if it's Columbia House Records. Can he make the decision to get them 10 CDs for $1? I don't know. I don't know. I know that you can't join any secret organization, any public organization, make any commitment without averring, right? That you can do this without any hesitation or mental reservation of mind in me, whatever, right? Like you can't do that. You can't join. You can't be a Kappa or a Sigma. You can't be an AKA or a Delta if you're not mentally sound. You can't become a Eastern Star or you can't become nothing if you don't have a sound mind. Now, you could say he just ran the country. Surely he could join an organization. I would say maybe he shouldn't have been running the country. But that's a different conversation. Anyway, I don't want to belabor the point, but Joe Biden is absolutely a Mason. Joe Biden is absolutely part of this organization. Joe Biden absolutely has pissed off all the Catholics. I gotta see what it is, man. I gotta see how this plays out. I don't know if Joe Biden will speak in public ever again, but I'm interested, and I'm sure he'll never go to South Carolina. Why South Carolina? Right? Like the extent that Democrats will go to exploit black people and to make it seem like they down. You know what I'm saying? Like now you're from Delaware, you're born in Scranton, you live in DC. Why the hell are you joining a Masonic lodge in South Carolina? Is this to make Clyburn happy? It's weird. It's weird. Anyway, let's talk about the Obamas. Let's talk about the Obamas. All week, people have been talking about Barack and Michelle Obama. The strongest rumor going around DC, the undercurrent in the entertainment channels, the political channels. I'm getting phone calls from political insiders, and they are saying, "Oh, are the Obamas getting a divorce?" In fact, there's a couple of Hollywood insiders and one DC insider who went on a network that I won't name, not because it's a secret. You can see it right on Twitter for yourself, or you can see it on Google for yourself. But he says that it's not a question of if, but a question of when. And then you say, well, where's the proof? And then they say, well, you notice you haven't seen them in public much. And you notice she didn't show up to public events. And you say, well, she didn't want to come to Trump's inauguration. Who the fuck would want to come to Donald Trump's inauguration if they could help it? And they go, yeah, but she didn't even show up to Jimmy Carter's funeral. And they like Jimmy Carter. They're Democrat liberals. They all in the same gang. I feel you. And then there was the Jennifer Aniston rumors. As you know, there's been a rumor recurring over years that Barack Obama and Jennifer Aniston had a thing. And now they're saying they still have a thing and that the thing is ongoing and that is not the reason for the divorce potentially, but maybe the aftermath of it. I am going to say with complete confidence that it's all bullshit. This is a right-wing distraction. This is a right-wing distraction. Michelle Obama didn't want to show up to the inauguration for the same reason that nobody else wanted to show up to the inauguration. She hates the Trump administration and what they represent. She made that very clear. And Michelle Obama made it very clear that her decision to show up to the first inauguration resulted in her having that facial expression. And she said, you can see it on my face. She didn't want to do that again. Understood. I mean, you could make the case that there is a kind of contradiction there. You know, they're all so outraged about what a Trump presidency will bring. But they'll show up for Joe Biden. They'll say goodbye to Joe Biden. They'll sing the praises of Joe Biden, who just prosecuted, or he didn't prosecute, but he oversaw, funded, approved an awful genocide. She shares candy. She literally goes to funerals and jokes around and shares candy with George W. Bush. George W. Bush prosecuted an illegal war in Iraq. An illegal war in Iraq. Oversaw some of the worst abuses of our civil liberties in the modern era. This is awful. So I'm always fascinated by, suddenly when people get so indignant that they won't show up for Trump, but they'll show up for all these other Democratic warmongers and Republican warmongers. But whatever. That said, there's no reason to believe that Barack and Michelle Obama are getting divorced. It's a silly rumor. And I wouldn't even address the rumor except that it is a distraction. They want you chasing Barack Obama and Michelle Obama down a rabbit hole. They want you chasing them down a rabbit hole so that you don't notice what Trump is doing. And they've put up similar distractions. The left wing has put up similar distractions to cover up what the left is doing, what the Democrats are doing. So I'm not saying that this is just the Republicans are the boogeymen and Democrats are the good guys. I'm saying all of it is a distraction. Please ignore it. But there's another thing here, because there's a whole lot of Black people who would be devastated, absolutely devastated, if the Obamas got divorced. And in a way, I would be too. Because they are a symbol of beauty and strength as a couple, and belief in each other, and so much, and what Black love can produce. And there's a way that, an Obama divorce would signal maybe like the end of our collective faith in that project. You know what I'm saying? At least in the pop culture tip. I mean, think about Unbreakable, or Alicia Keys' song, right? How many of them couples still around? Like Kimora and Russell making paper. Nope. Will and Jada. Nope. Right. There's so many, and I'm not saying Will and Jada aren't together. I'm saying like there's a way that the public narratives and the releases of information that they've offered have made us think about those relationships differently, less mythically. And so I don't want to believe that something is wrong with the Obamas. But look, if the Obamas want to get divorced, that's fine. If the Obamas want to be together, that's fine. I'm just telling you, there's no evidence of it. Do not believe the right-wing rumors. Do not believe the gossip rags. Until you hear the Obamas say something, or you have hardcore evidence to believe that something is true, please assume that it's all not true. It is all a right-wing lie. All the gossip, all the Aniston, all of it is bullshit. All of it is bullshit. If you want to criticize the Obamas for their political moves, sure. If you want to talk about the Obamas and what they do, fine. But please don't fall into this hole, because it's designed, again, to distract you from what's happening politically in our world. And it's also designed to just take another swipe at Black love, Black culture, Black communities. Ignore all of it. Ignore all of it. Let's see. I see some comments coming in about that. Not Remy and Pap. Another one. Yo, man, shout out to Remy and Pap. Love both of them, by the way. Somebody said all those celeb relationships are performative. I mean, there's a performative dimension to any relationship when you're in public. But I have every reason to believe that the Obamas love each other and care about each other and invest in each other. Also, when was the last time we've seen a presidential divorce? It's so interesting that of all the couples who are eligible for a divorce, whether it's the Clintons, whether it's the Trumps, you decide that the Obamas, the happiest Negroes out here, the people who have no history of strife, no history of drama, that's the ones they decide suddenly are going to be getting divorced. Come on, knock it off. Russell Wilson and Sierra. That's a good one. That's a good one. Although at this point, if they ever did a remix to that Alicia Keys song or another song, I'd be like, yo, don't put me in nothing, yo. Because that shit is like just like being on the cover of NBA Live or John Madden, or you know what I'm saying? Like, don't put me on the cover of no video games. People be getting hurt. You know, don't put me in no shout out relationship song. It's so interesting to me. Anyway, and you're right, we don't have to fetishize celebs. We absolutely do not. We also ain't got to lie on them though. And I just found it so interesting that this is where we are. All right, y'all. Let's move on to another topic. I see a question coming in. I said we were going to get heavy into politics, but somebody asked a question and they made it a super chat. Did you hear Trump talk about how good Gaza is as a location? They may have settlement plans. The lack of humanity is disgusting. Will they get justice? We'll get into this on Monday more when we do a more traditional show. But I will say I addressed this a few days ago, specifically the Donald Trump quote. Donald Trump was talking like a realtor. He was talking like a developer, rather. Will they get justice? I think Palestine will be free, and I think Palestine will get justice. But it's not going to come from U.S. policy. It's not going to come from largesse from Congress. It's not going to come from some, religious conversion from Israel. It's going to come from struggle. It's going to come from engaged, on the ground struggle from the people catching hell and the people who are allied with the people catching hell. Because right now, Donald Trump is saying not only is Gaza eligible for an entire redevelopment plan that simply dispossesses Palestinian people, but he's not limiting it to Gaza. He's also saying the same thing for the West Bank. He's also already supported the annexation of parts of the goal line. We saw that in his last presidency. And East Jerusalem is up for grabs as well in their mind. So nothing is safe. Let's keep the struggle going. Let's keep fighting. The ceasefire is a bullet, is a drop in the bucket. You know what I mean? It's a drop in the bucket. It's really that simple. All right, y'all. Let's move on to another story. I got footage of Karen Bass and Donald Trump. They went at it tonight. You know, you don't really expect Donald Trump to be debating nobody or arguing nobody or even having public engagements with anybody now. That's not what was supposed to happen. But tonight, Karen Bass was talking about the wildfires in LA and talking about the emergency response. This is about 5 o'clock Pacific time, about 8 o'clock Eastern time. And Donald Trump was there as well, doing his Donald Trump thing. And it got interesting. I want y'all to check out this this exchange and let me know what you think. Check this out.
We're bringing our city departments together so that people don't get caught in the loop of going from one room to the next. We want them all to be in the same room so that you can get busy rebuilding ASAP. Absolutely. Yes. Yes. And we will clear the lots. Absolutely. In the city and in the county. We are working together. Both levels of government are working in unity.
Months? Is it like we that's the answer that we got, and that's what we're all hanging on?
Yes.
So if you're telling us now faster, is it 6 months? Is it, I mean, all of our lives, rents, all this stuff is weighing on this.
6 months is no good.
And the number one thing that we are going to do immediately, and you will see this happen, is to clear out the debris. And you know, we're concerned right now over the weekend because of the potential rain, but we are going to move as fast as we can, but we want you to be safe. And we want you to be back in your homes immediately.
But the people are willing to clean out their own debris. It doesn't
Yes,
cost
and
a
they
lot.
can.
You
and
should
they are
let them
able
do
to-
it because
No, no,
by the
they
time you
can do
hire
that.
contractors, it's
Right.
going to be 2 years.
If a family.
People are willing to get a dumpster and do it themselves and clean it out.
And they can.
There's
do
not that much left. It's all incinerated.
That's right.
And, you know, it's just going to take a long time if you do. You can do some of it, but a lot of these people, I know that guy right there that's talking. I know my people. You'll be on that thing tonight, throwing the stuff away, and your site it'll look perfect within 24 hours. And that's what he wants to do. He doesn't want to wait around for 7 months till the city hires some demolition contract.
If
That's going to
individuals
charge him
want to build-
$25,000 to do his lot. I think you have emergency powers just like I do, and I'm exercising my emergency powers. You have to exercise them also.
I did exercise them.
Because you have a very powerful
declaration.
emergency power, and you
Yes.
can do everything within 24 hours.
Yes. And if individuals want to clear out their property, they can. Well, yes, but you know that you will be able to go back soon.
Mr. President.
We think within a week.
That's a long time, a week. I'll be honest. To me, everyone's standing in front of their house. They want to go to work, and they're not allowed to do it.
And the most important
week
thing
is
is
a
for
long
people to
time.
be safe.
They're safe. They're safe. You know what? They're not safe. They're not safe now. They're going to be much safer. A week is actually a long time, the way I look at it. I watched hundreds of people standing in front of their lots, and they're not allowed to go in. It's all burned. It's gone. It's done. Nothing's going to happen to it. It's not going to burn anymore. There's nothing to burn. There's almost nothing to burn. And they want to go in. The people are all over the place. They're standing, and I say, why aren't you going in? We're trying to get a permit, and the permit's going to take them. Everybody said 18 months. You said 18 months. You said 18 months.
Last night.
And that was last night. On that.
We can't even see our homes right now. We are blocked from entering our street.
Right.
We can't even, this is our first time we saw our house was yesterday.
So this is an interesting exchange for lots of reasons. One, it's just bizarre. It feels like it's giving town hall meeting vibes, but the mayor and the president of the United States is there. It just seems like an odd place for Donald Trump to be. It's also funny to see Melania there. She has that look like, yo, I do not want to be here. I can't believe we won this shit again. 4 more years of this? Yeah, nah, B. You ain't, she need to fade to black. I know that's how she wants, what she wants to do. Watching them talk, it sounded to me like Karen Bass was making complete sense. The timing, the need for safety, and saying, look, the thing that you want people to be able to do, which is clear their own debris, you can do. You're allowed to do it. But there's a way that Donald Trump was grandstanding and talking over her, making it seem as if he was proposing something and getting tough when he wasn't really introducing anything new. But that is his approach. And it works. Because whether Karen Bass is making sense or not there, and I think she is, I happen to agree with her on this particular point, although I think her response to the fires has been awful. I think her response before the fires has been awful in terms of preparation, and I think that the fact that she wasn't there during the response was a problem. But there's a way that what she's saying tonight makes complete sense, but Donald Trump knows how to promote it himself. He knows how to market himself. He knows how to make an argument. And so what he said is going to resonate with the people in a way that what she's saying isn't. I feel you, Mike. Mike said if I was there, I'm going to be petty and say, I, for one, would love to hear from the first lady on the matter. Yo, that's what that is petty and it's funny. But watching them go back and forth like that is interesting because it also seems like Donald Trump seems to have a different gear this time. I know it's early, but he seems more measured. He seems a little less bombastic. And he seems like he's trying to cement his legacy as a person who really connected with the American people, kind of in a Reagan way, but even more folksy, even more grassroots. So in light of that, this whole scene is wild. Anyway, just wanted to show y'all that. I'm not sure who's right and who's wrong because I don't have as much context, but Donald Trump certainly knows how to never lets a good crisis not, he never lets a good crisis become a wasted opportunity. I'll just say that. All right, let's talk one more thing. And this is just silly, but it's not silly, but it's important. And it's relatively unimportant, but it's important. Anyway, we'll talk about, actually, no, we'll talk about something different because I don't want y'all up here mad at me. Let me see. Bullet the Bunny says, let's not infantilize Miss Melania. She sucks. My bad, y'all. I hit that wrong button. I ain't did that in a while. I ain't did that in a while. Sorry, y'all. All right. We got time for one more story. This one I thought was interesting. And then I'm going to go to bed. Lord Jamar says that he was drugged before the flat earth debate. Last week or a couple weeks ago, we showed the debate between Professor Dave. Dave is, of course, a scientist who is an excellent science communicator. Is probably a better way of sort of describing him. And he debated Lord Jamar, who is a prominent social media voice, a legendary rapper, and somebody who is, I think it's reasonable to say that he is a contrarian. And I mean that in the best sense. He questions the status quo. He does not take anything for granted. And so he went on Godfrey the comedian show. He talked about the earth being flat rather than round. He gave them a lot of engaging information, but he didn't get challenged. And so they brought in someone else to challenge him. The next time he appeared, and he did. And we talked about it. We showed it. You can look in the records. It did not go well for Jamar. Jamar himself said, hey, this did not go well for me. This was not my best performance. He described himself as shitting the bed. So just so you have context, I'm not assigning my own editorial value to it. That's what he said. But he also says later on that, the reason why it didn't go so well was not just because of his preparation, but because maybe something was awry. See, he doesn't want to get into it, but something didn't go right. His head wasn't in the right place. But then Godfrey finally responds to all of this, because up to now he's been quiet. And he says that he spoke directly to Lord Jamar. And that when he spoke directly to Lord Jamar said that he had been drugged. Check this out.
What's up?
Afterwards, I called Godfrey. I'm calling Godfrey the next day. I'm calling Godfrey. Godfrey's not picking up the phone, which is weird. And and then he says, I'm on the phone with Lord Jamar.
Yeah.
And I text him. I said, I know he's pissed at me. Right?
Yes.
And Godfrey goes, his text back to me is yup. And I go, well, what's up? And then Godfrey says to me that Lord Jamar said that I drugged him.
Yeah, he drugged him. He said, I think your boy drugged me. I go, what? First of all, I'm not a weed smoker. So I'm like, I don't get it. He goes, I was out of sorts on that episode. So I go, but you smoke all day, every day. He's always rolling joints on there.
He rolled 3 blunts.
The whole place was smoked up, and he goes, your boy tried to pour out, try to I don't know. He put something in the thing. I go, why would he do that? Like, he did it because he's like, yo, that's my man. I'm going to get him some weed, blah, 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 blah. And he threw that in. I go, Dante wouldn't do no shit like that. Why the fuck would he do that? Why the fuck would he spike himself and give you the same shit? Like, he don't do shit like that. We're not those kind of guys. I don't give a fuck who he talks to. We don't do that kind of shit, So I was like, damn, what? And then he goes, yo, and if I have to take legal action.
Wait, you going up too far.
What happened? What?
So first, then he was like,
you're a pimp. I'm sorry. He said you're
an ex-pimp.
Ex-pimp, yeah.
Such and such. And so you know how he manipulates people and blah, 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 blah. Now, I've never been lied or misrepresented myself.
So as you can see, the beef still continues, and it's all rooted in the fact that Lord Jamar was bested in this exchange. You can agree with Lord Jamar, you can disagree with Lord Jamar, you can believe the earth is round, you can believe the earth is flat, although it's not. That's up to you. And I think there's plenty of information out there on the internet that will adjudicate that debate. And in fact, right here on the channel, we're going to have someone come in to talk about kind of the roots of the flat earth debate. I'm not here to litigate that debate. But because we reported on the first part, I wanted to at least, I felt compelled ethically and morally to report that, hey, Lord Jamar is saying, look, he didn't just lose the debate, he got drugged. Now, I heard Godfrey's explanation, I heard his colleagues' explanation, and I believe them. I don't think Lord Jamar was drugged. I think Lord Jamar just lost the debate. He didn't look drugged. He didn't look confused. He just didn't win the debate. And that happens to every single person, including myself. So I get all of that. But I'm also thinking about why it's important for that to be part of the narrative. And it's because the flat earth debate is built upon a kind of conspiracy narrative. You have to not just believe that the earth is not a sphere, you also have to believe that the government is covering it up, that the maps are false, that the astronauts are lying. All these things, for the earth to be flat, a whole lot of other things have to be a lie. And so the only way that they can save face when they lose debates, and again, everybody loses debates, is with a story like this. I don't think Jamar is necessarily lying. I think he might actually believe what he's saying, but I'm just saying he has a motivation for believing what he's saying. And that motivation is, I can't be wrong here. Now, I will say, when it comes to Godfrey, and I think Godfrey was self-critical about this in his response, I didn't love the optics of bringing Jamar on as black guest and then having him debate a scientist, with degrees, and who's just going to mollywop him. I think, have the debate apples to apples. But either way, I don't want you out here thinking you got drugged. I don't want you out here thinking that you lost the debate because you didn't have the right argument, because that's what it ultimately is. The earth is a sphere. So anyone who believes the earth is round is going to be at an advantage to the person who doesn't, because facts matter. But I just thought y'all would get a kick out of hearing them sort of talk about that. that Lord Jamar believes he was drugged and that is why he lost the flat earth debate. Not that the earth is, I don't know, not flat. Just a thought. Anyway, y'all, I want to thank y'all for watching. We are done for the night, but we'll be back here on Monday. Holla at your boy, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and if you're so inclined, hit the join button, become a monthly paid subscriber to the channel. It goes a long way toward helping us meet our goals. In the meantime, if you don't have the ability to do that, please go on Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, or Zelle and drop something. It could be $1. It could be $1 million. I desperately need $1 million right now. So if someone has it or can share it, please. I don't care what it is. If it's 100,000, 50,000, please share it. But otherwise, just drop what you can in those spaces, and we'll be back tomorrow. We'll be back tomorrow. See y'all later. Peace.